I used to be fat. Okay? And so fat, in fact, I wore a size 40 in the waist at one point. Welcome back to another episode of Marco Ball Trades. Before we get started, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. But you know what's more important than those two things? Give them that old American thumbs up. All right, so getting into the video today is a very near and dear video to me. We're going to be taking a stroll down my little memory lane. A quick rundown just of my weight loss journey and a few of the things that I did in order to lose the weight and then keep the weight off. And I really hope that this is something that helps all of you, because I know weight loss is something that people for decades now have wanted to do, have done. It's something that people always aspire to, because there's this notion that if you lose a certain amount of weight, you're going to look better and feel better about yourself. Not only that, but in some cases, it could be better for your health as well. I've heard several people that I know personally and from secondhand experience that those who have diabetes, losing weight, something as simple as that could, reduce them or remove them from being type 2 or type 1 diabetic. So weight loss is an important thing. It's not the end all be all, but it definitely is a goal that a lot of people strive for. So beginning early on, I was fairly skinny, as I would say probably from age 3 to maybe 8 or 9 or so. Not like anorexic skinny, but just normal. And then my mother told me that my grandmother made a comment to her, like something to the effect of, "Do you feed that boy?" And moms take that to heart. It's like, oh no, like especially when their mom says something, it's kind of like your boss critiquing you on the job that they used to do. So it's like, uh-oh. So she just kept feeding me and feeding me. And about 4th or 5th grade, I was a pretty hefty kid. I remember in, I think, 6th grade, I was about 120 pounds. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but granted, in 6th grade, I was probably maybe 5'6", something like that. But for a kid, I mean, I don't know how tall I was exactly, but that's pretty chubby. I was hefty. I was chubby in about 5th and 6th grade. Then stayed pretty consistent, of course, grew a little bit taller. Then got to high school. Around the age of 13, 14, my aunt bought me a Weider cable resistance machine. Had like a front chest press on there, lat pull down, some, a preacher curl station, like the typical ones from Sears, actually. I'm showing my age now. And I worked out on that the summer going into my freshman year. So after promoting from the 8th grade, she bought me that for my birthday, and that whole summer I just worked out on that. Played football freshman, sophomore year. I was pretty lean, had fairly maybe 20, maybe 19, 18, maybe 17% body fat. And then my junior, senior year, I kind of blew up, because I remember my coaches that introduced me to whey protein, and one of my football coaches played professional football back in the late 80s, I believe. So maybe when whey was just coming out or as a supplement, and he mentioned like mix it with ice cream. And so I would do that. And the same aunt that bought me this Weider workout machine, every game day Friday, she would bring me stuffed bell peppers, and she was just making so much food for me. And I didn't count calories, of course, in high school. I didn't know anything about macros or anything like that. Not that I count macros right now, but I had like little nutritional information. I had little knowledge about nutrition. I just knew that only thing I knew was what every meathead knows, and that's protein builds muscle. Protein builds muscle. So I just ate, and my coach said the more you lift, the more reps you do, the stronger you'll be. So graduating high school, going into junior college or community college, I blew up to my heaviest, which was 235 pounds. Now at this point, I am about 5'11", 5'10 and a half, 5'11". And the first time, just going back now to senior year, I realized I was like fat. Now mind you, I worked out. We always did bench press, squat, some form of an overhead press, and power clean, right? And so I had nice shoulders, defined shoulders, chest, biceps, things like that. But then when you got to my stomach from like a side profile, yeah, there weren't too many trades going on. There was a little Dunlap. I coined that phrase, that word Dunlap, because my belly Dunlapped over my belt. Okay, I was spotting one of my friends in the bench press, right? And you know, most of you who do that, you're spotting. You're kind of just your friend's waiting there, getting ready to do the set, and you're kind of just leaning on the barbell, you know, just waiting, just shooting the shit with him. And my belly was kind of hanging over the barbell, not like a lot, but it was there. And my coach made a comment, he was like, Mark, are you 6 months pregnant or something? Everybody started laughing, including me. But little did I know, years later, I found out that really stuck with me. So going back now to community college, I'm working out still. I'm not playing football. I did discus and shot put in track. I shouldn't have, but so I wasn't defined, didn't have definition or cuts. I mean, a little bit. I'm probably maybe around 21% body fat, maybe even 22 or 23, okay? I'm 235 pounds. I'm not as strong as I was in high school because, of course, I'm not playing football. And I just remember not feeling very confident about myself, not feeling very good about myself. My self-image wasn't very high. And it wasn't until a friend of mine I was a huge Quentin Rampage Jackson fan. He's I think now in Bellator, but a friend had mentioned to me that there was a Rampage Jackson shirt. It was right after he came over to the UFC, and I think right after he beat Liddell for the title. He had this black Affliction. Again, I'm showing my age. Affliction's not that old, but he had this black Affliction graphic t-shirt with two wolves on both sides, and there were like chain links throughout the shirt, and I fucking loved this shirt. It was one of his walkout tees, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta have that Rampage shirt. It looks so badass. So there was this weird store where you can it wasn't a thrift store, but you can bring your old clothes to, and then it was like a resale. So he had been in there. He tells me he sees that exact Quentin Rampage Jackson t-shirt. Now, we had seen it in the malls, but in the malls they wanted like retail price, so it was like $60. Now, mind you, I'm in community college back then, had a job, but I'm like, you know, to me $60 was a lot for a t-shirt, and frankly, it still is to this day. I mean, for a t-shirt, I'm not gonna spend $60 on a t-shirt. So I'm like, oh well, I'll just maybe wait till it goes on sale. Anyway, he tells me about this store. I go in there. They have one because it's not like a retail, it's like a resale kind of deal. So I go in there, I grab it. It's a large. No. It's a medium. It's a medium. Okay, I try it on. Now, at this time, I wore larges and extra large shirts. Actually, it was all extra large shirts. So, and actually come to think of it, it was a medium shirt, I believe, or a large, yes. The Rampage tee was large. I wore extra large shirts, mainly to hide the gut too. So I get in there, try it on. I'm like, oh, it looks good. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, oh, this looks nice. I look like Rampage. No, I didn't. I do that side profile again. I turn to the side like a mugshot, and there it is. That 6-month prego belly. It's not like a protruding baby diaper butt. Okay, it's not protruding like that, but it's there. It's enough that you can tell that he's got a little belly. And I was like, two choices, right? I could either put the shirt back on the rack and walk away and just never have the shirt, or I could, go to the store and pay $60 for an extra large t-shirt. Well, I decided to challenge myself that day. I said, hey, this shirt, okay, and the cost of that shirt at the store was $14. So in this store it was $14 because obviously they didn't know the value of the shirt, and in the malls and retail it was $60. I'm like, you know what? I can't pass this up. I said I'll lose a few pounds. So that day after leaving that store, I don't know, this was around the time way before Subway controversy, okay, when Subway was like synonymous with weight loss, right? Subway, eat fresh, 5 grams of fat or less, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Jared, long before the Subway controversy. So I'm like, okay, I heard about Subway, cool. So immediately, right after that, I went to Subway. There was a Subway by the store, and I got a sandwich, a combo, and some chips and a drink. I immediately lost weight, no. And then something just came to me, and I was like, I had heard of calories before, but I just Googled on the internet. I was like, how many calories can I eat? So I found some website, plugged in my height and my weight, and I learned through that website actually that 3,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound of fat. So I was like, oh, okay, well, as long as I don't eat more than 3,500 calories a day, I'm good. That was my thinking back then. At the time, I was living with my mother in her apartment, and her apartment had a gym, and they had an elliptical. Now, for those of you who don't know what an elliptical is, it's like a treadmill 2.0. It's like the treadmill with arms, the handles like this, and it's got this silver plate on the inside so you can grab and it can read your heart rate if you want it to on the screen. So anyway, it's got these long kind of like skis where you place your feet, and it's got the handles where you grab. So it's kind of like I like it more than a treadmill because you can really actively use both your arms and your legs simultaneously. So I like that. It's like you're kind of like skiing or punching and kicking at the same time. So I just got on the elliptical, I think maybe 3 or 4 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes. And I would burn on there, I don't know, maybe 400, 500 calories or something like that. And I would just watch what I ate. I would just track, I would mentally keep track of the foods that I ate. I started looking at the back of the labels for the calories, and that was it. And the other thing I did was, I think going back to that day when I had the Subway, when I bought the shirt, I went to Target and I bought some, it was muscle milk. I remember it was a chocolate flavored muscle milk. And I don't think it was weight loss or something, but it was protein. Because again, coming from my meathead football days, I knew what? Protein builds muscle. So I said, okay, well, I need to take this. But I think it was like a weight loss muscle milk, chocolate muscle milk or something like that, lean mass. Anyway, I started to watch what I ate. So I was mentally counting calories. So I was going for a deficit. Without knowing it, I was trying to eat in a caloric deficit because I found out that 3,500 calories meant I was going to put on 1 pound of fat, right? In my little knowledge, even though that may not be exactly true, that's just what I concluded back then. I had some kind of a dietary supplement, some kind of protein, and I was doing cardio maybe 4 to 5 times a week, just for like half an hour, okay? And not necessarily steady state, but it was a little intense. So like I would work up a sweat, my heart rate would get up. And for about a month and a half, it maybe had to be 2 months. And so mind you, I was 235 pounds at the beginning of this, and I got down to 188 pounds. Okay, so and weight loss, like 30, 40 pounds is a lot. It makes a huge difference in the person's appearance, and it did. And I was like, whoa, I was so happy. I felt good. I had more energy. I lost muscle mass, lean muscle tissue, of course. And then that was the next phase. I was like, oh, well, I'm too skinny now. So I cut back a little bit on the cardio and hit up the gym still some more. So, and then shortly after that, I found mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so I took that 188 pounds from there and the Subway, because I still ate Subway. So I was in university, college. And then I was training martial arts. I was training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the morning around 10 a.m. And I'd have lunch or food after class from like 11 to 12 or so like that. I think 1 o'clock I would do my Muay Thai kickboxing class from about 1 to about 2:30. And then from around like 3 to 4, 3 to 5 o'clock, I would have class. And then after class around like 6 to 10 or so, I would go to work. I worked at this little pizzeria in their parking lot. It wasn't a ma and pa. This is like a world famous pizzeria. So they had like private parking lot. So I was their parking lot guard, kind of like their security guard. So I would do that. So I had a full day, but my calorie burning, my caloric expenditure like was up compared to the calories I was taking in. So when training Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu in that schedule, from around the high 180s, I got down to maintaining about 176, 177. And that was where my body was comfortable. And I was probably, that's probably the lowest weight that I've gotten while exercising with resistance training. My body won't let me go below like 176, 175 unless I do like some kind of severe caloric deficit or cut. And I feel good there too. So, and I've kept that weight off. It was maybe 4 years after that. And then around maybe 2015 or so, I put maybe 15 pounds back on, got up to about like 200 or so for a short time, very, very short time, and then went back down again. And I've been hovering around now 188. So it was a pretty normal fluctuation, but the takeaway from all this is that every time I went back to lose weight, or what I really noticed was that it was this caloric deficit, or calories in, calories out. Now, yes, there are a lot of other factors that affect your calories out. So if, for example, someone has diabetes or some kind of disease state or condition that would affect the amount of calories their body burns, then of course they're not going to burn more calories than they take in, and their body would then store it as fat. But the ultimate end all formula in weight loss is just burn more calories than you consume. And there's things that go on in the middle, but that's the big picture there. So those main principles were, I was in a caloric deficit, I was burning more calories than I was taking in. It wasn't a severe deficit because I never felt like I lacked any energy. I felt good. And all this kind of just without me really studying, me really seriously researching, just me having the goal, and then kind of my mind just figuring it all out from there. So the takeaway from this is, if you right now want to lose weight, maybe 10 or 15 pounds or so, I would just say to you guys, make sure that it's realistic, okay? I don't know if you have a trip plan, a photo shoot, a wedding, or something like that that you are going to attend in the next few months or few weeks, but I would get on Google, research, and figure things out, and just know yourself as well too. You know, are you someone that's kept on a certain weight for X amount of years of your life? Are you someone who can't put on weight? Are you someone who can't lose weight? Because again, we're all different, right? So what worked for me may not work for you, or it may work for you. So, which I hope it does. But that's just kind of what I wanted to let you guys know. I know I've been putting out some videos here now, and I haven't really had time to share with you a little bit about me, Mark of all trades. So yeah, those are a few of the things there. So now, in addition to losing weight, of course, obviously, I want to maintain or and then build a bit gradually, naturally over time. I'm not too concerned with being huge or bulky or anything like that. So I do hope you guys enjoyed that little story time. I do hope that if your goal right now is to lose weight, drop some pounds, I do hope that you have the right information and the right resources and tools to help you do so. If not, please check out Coach Greg Doucette on YouTube. He's huge. He knows a wealth of information about losing weight, building muscle as well simultaneously. But I mean, nobody created that formula of calories in, calories out. It is debated, but after thinking about it, that's really what it all boils down to. That's the bottom line, is calories in, calories out. But yes, there's more that goes into that. But in general, the big picture, that's what it is. So this has been Mark of all trades, and I am encouraging all you to take up as many trades as you can and as you want. Not too many though, and develop them. Because why? A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Out.